In this video, I want to talk a little bit about my own journey from when I was young and the beliefs that I developed about myself, the I'm not lovable, I'm not important, I'm unworthy, all of the not enoughness kind of beliefs. This sort of stemmed from hearing one of my parents say, no, don't do that, and that's bad, and things like that eventually turned into I'm not good enough, I'm bad, etc. And for whatever reason, they stuck. And this happens with almost every single person. And it controlled my life unknowingly for years and years. It was like that black cloud constantly hanging over me. I attracted to me, as a result of those underlying beliefs, people that were abusive, people that treated me poorly, but never more poorly than I was already treating myself. And most of that was simply taking place in my mind. I didn't believe that I deserved good things or was worthy of good things. I'd hear statements like, oh, you have to love yourself, you have to feel good about yourself. And nobody exactly said how to do that. How do you love yourself? If you feel like you've never experienced love, a real sense of love, not the temporary kind of love, then how do you even start to do that? We're brought up, most of us, especially people of my generation, hearing things like children should be seen and not heard, speak only when spoken to, boys don't cry, shut up or I'll give you something to cry about. All those kinds of things feed those beliefs that we take on about ourselves. I'm unimportant, I don't matter, I shouldn't even exist. And it wasn't until much later in life when I realized something had to change, or I wasn't going to live much longer, truthfully. And I began searching for a way to develop self-confidence. And funnily enough, I signed up. A local community college was offering a course on how to develop self-confidence, and I signed up for it, and I showed up at their little mobile off-campus place, and I was the only one who showed up, so they canceled the class. Well, you would think that would discourage me. However, some switch had been flicked inside of me that knew I couldn't take any more of this crappy life that I'd been living and the abuse that was being heaped on me, first by my parents and then by my husband at that time. And so I continued. I went to the library, I got self-help books, and of course self-help books are wonderful, providing you apply to your life what it is that you hear. And then I took some other courses along the way. I became certified in Scott Killaby's work and certified in the work of Byron Katie and a few other resources. I learned what emotional freedom tapping, also known as EFT, was, and I applied that. And I was just hungry for change and sick and tired of being sick and tired. So what I eventually learned was, and I found the way to bring up all of those beliefs, those self-limiting beliefs and self-imposed beliefs, For years I had been blaming other people for how my life was. And once these beliefs came to the surface and I saw them on paper, I had written them down through a process that I now use with people, and I was able to see how they had been showing up in my life. And it was honestly a sad and emotional moment, simply because I also saw that it was me who'd been doing it to myself. And there's that tendency to say, oh my God, if only I had known this information sooner. But that just keeps me in a state of frustration and suffering when I look at it that way. What is important is everything unfolded the way it did because it was meant to be that way. And how do I know that? Because it unfolded that way. And to argue with that is arguing with reality. So instead of going backwards and staying in the past and keep bringing it into the present, I simply found situations where believed I was made to feel the unlovable or unworthy or unappreciated, all of the things that had come up for me personally. And I questioned whether they had ever been true. And my findings were they never had been true. In fact, the opposite had always been truthful. And that was such an eye-opening moment for me on all those different times I took a look at that. And what happened is it was totally freeing as I began to change, as I began to let go of those old beliefs. My body relaxed. I noticed that people that had been in my immediate circle had just started to drift away. It wasn't a conscious terminating of friendships or relationships. They just faded away. And I attracted new people into my life. And they felt more right and more comfortable. And as I continued to evolve, so did those kinds of things. People coming and going until I'm at a point in my life, and I wish this for everyone, where I'm so comfortable with myself and I understand clearly that whatever it is I think I need or want from another person, I can give that to myself. I don't need to put that on them. If they choose to give those things to me, awesome. But my life doesn't revolve around that anymore. And I'm not miserable and unhappy because I'm looking to someone else for that happiness or that inner peace. I've been able to find it for myself, not find it, but gain it for myself simply because I've, like I said, unearthed those beliefs and question them to see if they're even true. I realized that all of the thoughts that I had, they're only ever happening in my mind. We create stories all day long, consciously and unconsciously, but it is me who's creating those stories. Good, bad, indifferent, happy, sad, it's still on me. And they feel so real when I'm thinking them, when I'm just off daydreaming and having those imaginary conversations. And I find I can make myself happy as a result, or I can make myself miserable, angry, frustrated. And yet when I stop and I look at them, like from an outsider, looking at that story I've had going on, I see it's not true. It's just a story that I'm creating. So I wanted to share that today, and hopefully this will be the first video that you really take a look at. And subsequent videos, I will talk about people that I've worked with without naming them, but the different situations that they've had and how we unearthed the belief that they had and how we worked through it to see if it's true, if it's real, and what the ultimate outcome was. So I hope you join me on these videos in this journey as we move forward. And if you have any questions, be sure to post them and I will do my best to answer all of them. Yeah, that's it. Be sure to like and subscribe so that you're able to get notified when I post new videos. And we'll do this together, go on this journey together, and all being well, you'll be able to do your own work along with me, your own situations, uncover your own limiting beliefs, debilitating beliefs, and set yourself free in the process. I'll see you in the next video.